Welcome to another daily dose of SAP Analytics Cloud. This time we will take another look at some of the recommendations from the book Solid, Outlined and Hedged, and in particular we're going to take a look at the topic of variances. So let's take a look at this two line of numbers. So first of all, you can see the direct cost is shown in two different ways. One in negative numbers because cost is basically not good. And the other one is cost is shown in a positive way. So the first line item is meant to be as an addition. And the second line item is called the calculation method. So in the first line item, we can see the actual is minus 291 and the plan is minus 282. So our variance also minus 9 is negative. In the second line item, we're showing all the numbers in a positive way and we're indicating basically that this needs to be subtracted from the other numbers by the small minus symbol in front of the text direct cost. So those are two options to show the variance. Some little rules that we can see here. Number one, a variance, like in our case the number 9, should always has the plus and the minus sign in front of it to indicate that the column shows variances. This also should show that just a pure number isn't actually showing us enough information. We can see minus and plus 9, but we don't know if this is good or bad. And therefore we need also the color. And we will see that when we create a table in SAP Analytics Cloud. So how does now all this come together in SAP Analytics Cloud? First, we're going to start building a model. So we upload a spreadsheet which just has a simple set of data, a few accounts. We have actual and planned data, and we have one measure. As we can see here, we have basically the sales, the cost, and we have the version actual and plan, and we have the amount. So we quickly configure the account and the version dimensions, and then we can actually generate the model and save the model to our system. In addition to the existing accounts that we have, we also will add two additional line items. One that sums up sales and one that then creates the gross result. So we're going to open up the account dimension and we're going to add a line item called sales, which is basically the parent for the support sales, the software sales, and the consulting sales. And we're going to add another line item called gross result, which is the parent for the direct cost and sales. And because we have the direct cost in our example as negative numbers, so we don't have to create a specific formula to subtract one of the other. So we can save the changes and then we can start actually creating a new story. So in our case, we then start building the story and we start with a table. So we make first some small modification to the table. We're going to put the accounts into the rows and we're going to put the different versions, in our case actual and plan, into the columns. We're also going to change how totals are being displayed. The total should always be at the bottom so that the hierarchy expands upwards. So here we have basically our actual and plan numbers. In our case, because we want to create a variance, we do need to create formulas. We need to create cross-calculation formulas, one for the actual, one for the budget, and then one for the variance. So we're quickly going to start doing that. The first thing is a restricted measure, which will restrict the account values to the version actual. We then build another restricted measure that limits the account values to the plan version. And as a third element, we create a calculated measure, which then creates the variance. So with those elements there, we can remove a few things from the table. We don't need the version anymore. And as you can see now, we have actual, plan, and variance. We're not focused on the formatting, the style of the table. That will be another session. So one of the items we quickly do is we format the number to only have 2 decimals. We also enable the sign, as we talked. The variance should always have the plus and minus sign shown. So we enable that. And now we can enable the in-cell charts. And then we will see that in our case, the sales revenue went down and the direct cost, so to speak, is shown as it goes down, but because it is a cost, it actually is an increase. And when you look at the material from Rolf Hichert and Juergen Faisst, they also show the other way of doing it, where then the bar for the cost goes up because it's positive, but still shown in red because it is an increase in cost. The second example that I want to show is a chart where we just look at actual and plan variances by product. So we're going to save this and we're going to quickly create another model. So this time the data just has products, version, and a number. So you can see we have actual and plan values for a set of products. So we quickly map the different versions and then we make sure the revenue is configured as a measure and we're going to generate the model. So now we can go back to our story and add another chart. So this time we want to show a variance as part of the chart. So we add a new chart and we quickly change the model to the new model that we just created. And then this time we want to show the value that we have broken down by product, and we want to show the variance between actual and plan. So when we now start adding a variance, we have different options, and one of the options is to show an in-bar variance. So let's configure that first. We go and open up the variance panel, and we configure the option to compare the actual with the plan. And now we're going to configure the in-bar option. It's not necessarily a great option. It does actually save a lot of space, but it might make it difficult to exactly compare the variance amounts because they not all start on the same level. So the preferred option would be to create a variance that actually is a separate bar outside of the standard chart. So let's go back and configure that. So we use the bar as an option now. And as you can see, we have absolute variance, and we can also enable a percentage variance. The display option for the percentage variance is then to use little pins instead of a complete bar. And you can see on the top of the pin, there's a black square, which indicates that this is the variance to actual. So I hope that this quick session on the variances helped, and I highly recommend the material and the book from Rolf Hichert and Juergen Faisst. And I want to say thank you for watching and listening.